Hey, what's up YouTube? Skybadger here, and I'm back in week roughly 17. I'm doing this audio recording in post, so after it's happened, so I already know how things work out and what happens. So as you can see, we are at war with our ally, Equatorial Gabon. I'm not going to explain the situation until, the part of the video where I'd actually know it, but at this point, I don't know what's happened. Me and Illinois are suddenly at war with our former ally. Now, I know we did expect this to come, because, like I said in the last video, he's been doing nothing for the past, we don't know how long. So at this point in the gameplay, I'm sending aircraft to scout, I'm sending all my units forward, and I recorded myself doing this, and, it actually takes, roughly 15 minutes for me to do this, get all my troops moving. So obviously I'm not going to show that, I'm just going to speak over the parts right now that you're seeing. So as you can see on the map, in a few places there have been a few nuclear attacks. These were to, I'm not sure what the point of them was, but he has attacked with rockets, nuclear rockets and nuclear bombers. So he is, I'm not sure what his goal is. I'm not sure why he attacked in the first place, and we still haven't even got to that. I think it was a misunderstanding, a misfire. Maybe some of my units got hit in a friendly, well, accidentally in the radius of a nuclear blast against Illinois. I think that is what may have happened, because although, actually I'll explain that later. So, but anyway, back to what's happening. Right at the moment, I'm sending all my aircraft forwards to set up patrols, so I know what I'm going into. We established in the past that Illinois is a gold, Illinois, yes, is a gold user, but more importantly, our enemy, Equatorial Gabon, is. So, at this point, I'm sending all my aircraft forward so I can get as much knowledge about what's happening as possible. I need to know everything that is happening. I need to figure out where his units are, where possible units could be coming from, and where it's safe to attack and send troops forward. Now, because I'm fighting a gold user, I'm going to send all of my tanks and units through in areas that don't have industrial complexes already there, because they're places he can spam them. So we are going to avoid those areas. So at this point, I'm sending Illinois a message, just acknowledging that we're both being attacked. Now, Equatorial Gabon is inactive, but somehow he managed to attack both me and Illinois roughly in the same time period. I do believe this was meant to happen, because very shortly after this happened, he did return to the game. So I believe it was a way of just saying, hey, I didn't attack you, you attacked me, but it didn't really work out that way. I think it was his way of justifying war, is that the AI did it, but it, hasn't worked. I believe what he may have done is he may have, put a delay on a unit so that it attacked, once he'd gone inactive, or he could have set a rally point using high command so that when a nuclear bomb is done, for example, it then flies off and bombs its target, and that would work too. As I don't believe, well, I think the AI can, but generally the AIs do not change pre-made movements. So I've gone inactive once before, and when I came back, some of the movements I made were still in effect, still happening. So at the moment, what you can see is that battleship's ran into mine, it's got to die. And I'm just sending troops forward to claim all these pockets in here. I need to take those fast, because they're in the middle of my territory, and if he, when he comes back and spams industrial complexes and stuff like that, he can start mass producing troops in those areas and then overrun those positions. If I take these positions right now, I can then send troops closer to the front lines to set up defensive positions. So back now a little later on in the day, and as you can see, all my troops are going forward to claim land, and he's still inactive. Now this is only a few hours later, it's not much later, and as you can see, we're already, putting up a massive fight. Once he comes back, things change drastically. When we start this, and in the last week's episode, we had roughly under 1,000 units. When he comes back and he becomes inactive, before the war's over, we lose 250 troops in this theatre alone. But overall, I would say we came out on top. So at this point, I'm still moving troops forward. You can see all of my troops have been set with their targets. So this is the end of it. As you can see, peace is back. If you have a look at the morale, you can see where his troops have gone and where they've conquered and where I've reconquered. To be honest, I think we won this. Although we came to peace in the end because it was not an affordable fight for either of us, he was fighting Illinois at the same time, and he could win by fighting him alone. And we did claim more territory, but like I said before, we lost 250 units on the first day alone due to nuclear bombings. So we couldn't sustain the fight, so coming to peace with him was a good option, even though we were pushing him back and we were making ground. You can see all the low areas of morale, areas that we've captured, and this is something like about the morale map, is we can see that now. We can see how far we pushed him back across all the fronts. So that's really about it. We lost a lot of troops fighting him, and the reason why we haven't continued fighting him is we don't have to. I'm happy with how we've done. Although I wouldn't say we won, we definitely came out on top. We took a lot of ground in South Africa. As you can see, we pushed him way back, pushed him out of there. So everything worked out in our favor in the end. We are at peace. We've got more victory points than before, and he can still win by taking out Illinois. So see you next week, I guess, for an update.